I received an email from a student with a really good Power Query question, and that is, how do I preserve added columns to Power Query output data upon refresh? Now, when I say preserve added columns, I don't mean that we're losing the columns. It's just that when rows moved into different positions after a refresh, the added data doesn't always track in the same order. I had developed a solution for this question and was just about to make a video for it when, out of happenstance, I came across a much better solution. And this solution was presented to me by Ken Puls from Skillwave Training. And you should really check out his website. He's got a fantastic library of Power Query videos. He probably knows more about Power Query than almost anybody on planet Earth. So I have to give him full credit for this better solution. Before we see the solution, let's check out the problem. Let's take this blue table and bring it into Power Query. So we'll go up to Data, From Table Range. And I'm not going to do much with this, aside from maybe refine the data type. So I'll set this to a date data type. And I'll set these two money-based columns into a currency data type. To demonstrate the problem, I need to do something that changes the order of these rows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tracking ID column and just sort it in ascending order. So now let's load this out as a proper table, and I'm going to place it on this worksheet in column H, right next to the original data. I'll close my Queries and Connections panel. If I scroll over, what I'd like to do is add something like a Notes column. So I'll type in Notes, and I get this new column. Let's add a few notes. So I'll put something like remit 30 days. And just to make it clear of the problem that's happening, I'm going to add to this the tracking ID number to the note. Now, this has nothing to do with the solution or the problem. I'm just doing this so we can more easily associate the note with the record that it came from. So that came from 1936. So down here, we'll put something like receives a 10% discount. And that came from the order with the tracking ID of 3422. And then finally, something like deliver to alternate address, and that came from tracking ID 7222. Now the problem. If I scroll back, I have some extra data here, and I'm going to take about half of this information and add it to the data set. When I go back to the Power Query output, right-click Refresh, I do pick up those new transactions. But notice 1936, this record did not move, so the note stayed put. But 3422 moved because it's down here, but the note stayed on the original row at which it was inserted. Same thing for 7222. That's now on tracking ID row 3942, and 7222 is down here. How do we get these records to move relative to the records of which they were associated? I'm going to hit undo several times. The trick is to use the output of the query as input of the query. What I mean by that is, we want to take all of this blue table and bring it in every time we hit refresh to update the green table. But in the process, before the green table gets updated, I want to read that table's notes so I can bring them in and reassociate them with the blue table records, combine them, and then finally update the green table. That way, if 7222 moves, its associated note moves with it. So here's the trick. After you've created the initial query, go to that query output, and we're going to read it back in as a second query. So I'm going to rename this query Get Notes. Now, you don't have to do anything with this query, but just to make sure everything lines up properly, I will make the same data type changes. So I'll set date to a date data type, and I'll take cost and sales and associate them with a currency. And we see that notes column in the Get Notes query. I want to take this column and merge it with the sales table, so it becomes another column in this table. To do that, we're going to do a merge. So in the original sales query, I'm going to go up to Merge Query. I'm not going to do a merge as new because I want to do a direct merge back into this specific query. We'll take everything from the sales table and merge it with the Get Notes table. Now the trick is to create some sort of association, some connective tissue between these two tables. Now I have a perfect scenario here where I can take the tracking ID columns of each of those tables, and that becomes my key column. Sort of like doing a lookup in Excel, you have to have something that is related in each table. Now, if you do not have something like a tracking ID, you could create an ad hoc compound key. And you could do that by doing something like, hey, let's take the sales rep column and associate it with the sales rep column of the second table, but then also take the date column and associate it with the date column. So this would assume that no single sales rep has more than one sale per date. So if you combine the sales rep name with the date, you would have a unique key. If a sales rep had multiple sales on the same date, then you'd have to go further with perhaps the product, because now we're hoping that the sales rep on that day didn't sell that product more than once. You would have to come up with whatever combination yields you a no duplicate scenario. Now in my case, I'm going to use the tracking ID. I'll hit OK. So now back in the original sales query, I've got all the related records from the Get Notes query. We'll go to Expand Table, and the only column I need is the Notes column, and I don't want to preserve table name prefixes. So I'll hit OK. Now I have the notes from the Get Notes query folded into the Sales query. The Get Notes query is acting as a feeder for sales. So Get Notes should not actually produce any physical table. So to make sure that doesn't happen, we'll go to the lower part of Close and Load, say Close and Load To, and we'll create a connection-only query. If I scroll over to the output, notice we have two notes columns now. This was the original notes column that I handcrafted, but it got renamed to Notes 2 because you can't have two columns with the same name in a table. This is the notes column that was created via the merge. We no longer need to keep our handcrafted version of the notes, so I'm going to right-click and delete that column. Now the notes column is going to feed itself back into the original sales query. To prove that these notes will no longer become disconnected from their original tracking IDs, let's go back and I'll take about half of this table, add it to the data. We'll go back to the green table, right-click refresh, and notice how the notes moved with their related records. So 1936, that didn't move, but 3422 stayed with 3422, and 7222 stayed with 7222. Going back to the original data, if I go grab another block of information, add it to the table, go back to the output, right-click refresh, 1936 moved a little bit, but the note stayed with it. There's 3422, 7222. So that's how you can get after-the-fact notes to stay associated with their Power Query records. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to download this file from the link in the video description so you can go back and look at all my steps with full documentation. And don't forget to check out Ken Puls's YouTube channel and website for more Power Query content. And while you're at it, check out my YouTube library for more Power Query content. And here's a standing offer that I haven't made in quite a while, but if you're having a problem with Power Query, feel free to insert it in the comments of any of my YouTube videos. And if I know the answer, I'll try to make a video based around your problem. Because if you've got the question, the odds are there are others out there with the same question. Thank you for watching, and remember, at BCTI, the learning never stops.